Okay, today's workout is called Churros, a delicious Mexican treat. Good little dessert, usually with some chocolate dipping sauce. We've got 5 rounds today, and we're working with that 45 seconds of working period and 15 seconds of recovery. So we do have that built-in recovery today. It's not a long recovery period, but it is more than we had with some of the other workouts this week. So our movements today, we've got a curtsy lunge to a curl, a plank hold, a lateral step on the right side, lateral step on the left side, a hollow hold, and a sumo squat pulse. And again, we can use the gallon jug, dumbbells, whatever you have for some resistance at home to get a little bit of an extra challenge, not only for those legs, but also for that upper body too. All right, our first movement, we are doing a curtsy lunge to a curl. So we've got those gallon jugs down by our sides, feet are together. We're gonna step back and diagonally behind you, behind that opposite leg. And we're gonna lower down into that lunge position from that point. And just like we do in a traditional lunge, we're gonna push through your front heel as we come back up to the top. So as we come out to that upright position, we're gonna incorporate that bicep curl with those gallon jugs or dumbbells, whatever you're using, to get those biceps involved as well. As you curl, you wanna keep your elbows really tightly glued to your side to make sure we're getting that proper line of pull. And because as those arms get fatigued, they're gonna wanna start to flare out wide. So just be sure to keep those elbows tight. Make sure we keep the weight in whatever foot is out in front, right in that heel. Just like the movies, I was gonna say in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it, each and every high, every night with you. All right, we're jumping into something a little less complex. We're working straight into a plank hold. So we're working into that isometric tension into those abdominals. We've got our elbows right below our shoulders, and we're keeping our tailbone tucked so that we keep that tension in your abs and we keep that lower back out of the equation. So we're up on the toes, up on the elbows, keeping those abs pulled in tight. And big part here is to really just try to breathe comfortably as you hold that positioning. If you start to feel your lower back curl a little bit, you can drop to the knees like Caitlin did here to kind of reset a little bit and retuck that tailbone. And then you can always come back up to the toes if you need to as well, if you're finding that you get a little rest period in there and you want to challenge yourself to the end of the set. So we've got a couple more seconds here holding strong, and we'll jump into the next movement. All right, next we are using a stair, a curb, a coffee table, whatever you feel comfortable enough standing on. And we're gonna do a bit of a lateral step up here. So we've got those gallon jugs for resistance if we can, or you can hold a single one up underneath your chin as well. Either way, we're keeping the right foot on that step. We're gonna step just off the edge of the step, and as that bottom leg touches the ground, and we start to lower into a bit of a squat. The goal here is to keep the weight in the right heel. We want the right leg doing most of the work here. So we're pushing through the right heel. We're really squeezing that right glute as you come out of that low position. The less weight you put on the bottom leg, the more we can incorporate that right leg. So that's a good challenge for you on this movement. All right, nice easy transition here. We are going to do the other leg. So you can either face the other way on your step or just turn around if you're using a curb or a coffee table. Same premise here, we've got the weight in the left heel this time, and we're really squeezing that left glute nice and tight. Our goal again is making sure the weight and the work is being predominantly done by the left leg on this side. So as that lower right leg drops down towards the ground, we lower a bit more into a bit of that squat, pushing the hips back, and then we push through that left heel, squeeze that left glute out of that low position. So if it's a little too challenging to hold the weights and you need a little bit more stability, you can always use the wall or the railing to add that, but don't rely on it. Our goal is to put you a little bit in that unstable positioning in this movement. Trying to prove All right, now we're taking it back down to the ground, this time on our backs. We're gonna get into that hollow body position. So another static tension that we're holding into those abdominals, much like the plank, but just in a different way here. So we've got our knees right over our hips, and we've got a 90-degree angle in those knees. We're gonna crunch up with our arms nice and straight, reaching towards our heels, tucking that chin and holding. So the whole time we're trying to hold that position. A little more challenging if you see Caitlin extended one leg. If that's not enough, you can always extend both legs out to really incorporate those lower abdominals. So whether you're extending just one or both, that's going to pull those lower abdominals in to be a little bit more useful in this movement. If it's too much on the lower back, you can always tuck your knees back in, and you can always pull your knees a little higher up towards your chest too. And to wrap up the round, we've got those gallon jugs or weights in your hands again. We can go front rack position or down in between your legs, and we're sending that butt way back and down. This time with that sumo squat, we've got a really wide stance here, so think a bit wider than your shoulder width, and we're turning those feet out a bit as well. Our goal here is as we send that butt back and down, we want to do a little 1-2 pulse and then come all the way up. So you're staying down for a little pulse 1-2 and then drive through those heels to return yourself back to that upright position. So really focusing on the weight in the heels, really focus on squeezing that butt super tight as you come out of that pulse. And that is one round. So we're looking for a total of 5 rounds today. So you do have that built-in rest. So make sure you're really transitioning right into that next movement. Take a quick sip of water if you need it. And most importantly, post a sweaty selfie so we can see all that hard work. Leave us a comment, let us know what you thought about it, and we will see you in the next one.